Business Hall of Fame does a great job in capturing the essence of leadership of some of the individuals in our community that have made great impact upon us. A community is only as good as its leadership, and I think it's very important for us to recognize and reward and honor these individuals and certainly use them as an example to others for what they've done to help our community grow and really become the place that it is. Our community would not be what it is without the leadership of John Holland. In a community which is made up of people and organizations, your fate is really dependent upon one another. And we've been so blessed to have the visionary leadership of John Holland in our community.
When I think of John Holland, I think of the core principles, our operating principles of the company, which basically are respect for people and integrity. John Holland is just as comfortable in the boardroom talking to a CEO of a retailer as he is out on any factory floor talking to any employee about any issue.
When you spent time with John Holland, you knew that you were someone of the utmost character and that he deserved your utmost respect.
Well, I went to Scottsville High School. I was born in Scottsville, so after that I came to the Bowling Green Business University in Bowling Green for 2 years, and then went into the Army and served 3 years, some of that in Korea, and came back and wanted to finish college, so I needed to get a part-time job to help pay the tuition, and I started to work on a night shift at Dibble Berber Tobacco Company, 11 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning, and then go to school during the day. And after that, Sears Roebuck opened their store downtown in Bowling Green. That was my next job as a receiving clerk there. And then when D-Trex decided to relocate their manufacturing facility to Bowling Green, I was fortunate enough to become the first hourly employee in February of 1955. And I was there about a year and a half. Then I went to Bowling Green Express, which was a locally owned trucking company in Bowling Green. And after the company was sold in 1960, I had the opportunity to move to Indianapolis to be with the new Associated Transport, which is the company that purchased Bowling Green Express, and I chose not to go, and I had the opportunity to begin work at Union Underwear, which was part of Fruit of the Loom, in October of 1961.
There's just no shortcuts for success. I think one of the many things I learned from Mr. Holland was take the time to get into the details. Success that he certainly achieved didn't come without a lot of effort and a lot of hard work. Mr. Holland has an uncanny knack, or in my opinion, he could survey a room, could listen to all the inputs of many different people with differing views, and he always seemed to have a way of bringing all that together and coming to a reasonable solution that people would buy into. When you look at his 49 years that he literally gave to this company, not only to build it to prosperity, but in 1996, after his first retirement, the company fell on hard times. It was just appropriate that in 1999, John Holland came back and led this company through a difficult time, through a bankruptcy, and into the acquisition of Berkshire Hathaway, which was just a wonderful outcome, the best script you could devise for such a scenario. So when you look at that, and then he led us through 2 major acquisitions of Vanity Fair, Russell and Spalding in 2006 and 2007, and set this company up for success for the future. When you look at all of that body of work over his 49 years, it's very appropriate that this recognition come to Mr. Holland.
I was fortunate in all of those years to have a very strong team of people, and I was merely the captain of the team, but we were able to do a lot of things and build the company over that first 20-year period from a annual volume of 183 million to 2.4 billion. and it became an international company. We had an operation in Europe, Canada, Mexico, and in the Far East, but a lot of successful growth with a lot of hard work with several thousand people.
If you think of the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce in this modern era, you might say, you would think of Charlie Moore. From his chairmanship in 1972 to his daughter Ann being chairman in 2005, Charlie Moore runs through the vein of the Chamber of Commerce. And probably the most lasting impact that I think that he has for us is of confidence and enthusiasm. I know whenever you did something for the Chamber of Commerce, Charlie Moore was there, and he was always there to tell you that you did a good job.
Probably not of much of a surprise to many people, but my dad did graduate from the University of Kentucky, and if you knew him in later years, you knew he was an avid Wildcat fan. But he graduated from the University of Kentucky and came back into the family business, which my grandfather brought an insurance agency to Bowling Green as a young man himself, and Dad came back to join him, I guess, in the late 1950s upon graduation, and stayed active in the business beyond my grandfather's death and until my father's death. He was an active participant in the insurance agency for a 40-plus year career. I think Dad saw the Chamber as a way to reach out in the community and a way to help new startup businesses. You know, for him, the passion was to go do a ribbon cutting for someone who was just opening their doors, maybe a small business, venturing out on their own, and to go and of course he was the big encourager. You know, he would be patting them on the back and you can do this, and I think this is a great idea, and I have all the faith in the world, you know, that you can be successful in this business. So for him, it became a passion of encouraging those young entrepreneurs, the folks who had an idea and maybe wanted to venture out into their own world of the business world. And so the Chamber became a great avenue for him to participate in that. But to him, it was about being the encouraging spirit to say you can do this, and he saw the Chamber as the way to develop that environment for folks to reach out and you know, stretch out beyond maybe what they thought they were capable of doing and opening that new business. Well, I think he served as mentor to many. I had many folks since his passing have come up to me and told me stories I had no idea, you know, that he had done, whether it was that encouraging word or they came to talk to him about a business concept and maybe he sent them in the right direction for where they should go. You know, he had a long-standing board membership on the old American National Bank for many years, and my grandfather before him. So he was in the, you know, the business of, if you will, funding startups, and saw that as a board member in the day of a smaller bank, you know, having somebody come in with a concept. But he was also very much about education, and that you needed to teach children from a young age about the business community, about what it takes to be successful. So a program such as Junior Achievement is a fabulous way to educate children on how the business world works.
Junior Achievement fits a much-needed gap within our community of Bowling Green, Kentucky, by being able to provide some of the entrepreneurial spirit lessons to these young folks and really show them how business works from a very practical application perspective.
They can provide an atmosphere and awareness of things that the average student, they can't get it in the educational environment, and they can't necessarily get that in the home atmosphere. So I think it's important to be able to associate with various business people and kind of learn some of the talents, the personal skills and so forth as to how a business operates, whether or not they choose a career in business or a professional, whatnot. The ability to work with, get along with people is extremely important, and I think that's one of the things that Junior Achievement provides.
If you have entrepreneurial spirit, if you exhibit good leadership, if you have the highest character and integrity, and you think about what you're doing with the purpose of developing your company, developing others, and developing yourself, you're on the right path to being a part of what we call this Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame.
Try to make sure that you maintain strong moral integrity. You have the self-discipline, the integrity, and if you have the enthusiasm and ambition, there are not many things an ordinary person can't do.